ask you something. When was the last time that you looked in the mirror and truly accepted every single part of you? I mean, looked in the mirror and just loved every single inch of the person looking back at you. And not just the parts that feel easy to love. I mean, all of you. Every blemish, every stretch mark, every role that you may have. Everything that you might feel insecure about. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and said, I love you for that. I love this. I love all of it. When was the last time? I'm talking about all the imperfections, all the mistakes, every bump on your knee and scar that you got when you were a child, all of the things that you may never have talked about or told anybody that you didn't like. When was the last time you accepted you? And for most of y'all watching, the answer might have been never. Today I want to talk about why self-acceptance is actually one of the highest forms of self-love and how learning to accept all of you can actually be the thing that transforms your life. Now, I think that a lot of us confuse self-love with fixing ourselves. Like, oh, if I just lose the weight, I'll be this. Oh, if I just do this, then I'll be this. Or I'll love myself more once I do this, instead of just loving yourself as you are right now. If I just land that job, then I'll be able to do this. If I find somebody who loves me, then I'll, we tie our love for ourselves and our worth to our achievements, to the external validation and our long list of never-ending conditions. But the thing that I think nobody really talks about is that that's not really love. That's approval, right? And at the end of the day, approval is fleeting. It's conditional. Approval keeps you in a cycle of chasing, improving, and chasing, improving, and you never feel like anything is ever enough. But self-acceptance, on the other hand, that says, I'm enough as I am right now. Self-acceptance is saying, even with all of my flaws, my scars, my doubts, and my fears, I'm still worthy of love. And that's the most powerful thing of all. Now, I'll be honest, there have been so many times where I didn't feel worthy, I didn't accept myself, and I didn't completely love myself. And I'll be even more honest, I'm still on a journey of getting to that point. I was talking about it in a previous video. There are times when I look in the mirror and I'm like, man, I don't really like this. I'm dealing with this breakout because I'm doing a detox, and I'm just like, that doesn't make me feel good. That doesn't make me feel pretty. But I still love me, and I still love my body for everything that it's doing for me, because I'm detoxing. My body is working to heal me from the inside out, and I'm grateful. I'm currently working through this period of my life where I'm tying everything to my productivity, and I'm learning to allow myself to rest and to take my time and not measure my life and who I am based off of who approves of me, who likes me, how productive I am, what I look like, because that's exhausting. Constantly trying to mold yourself into what others think you should be, and also trying to mold yourself into what you think will be accepted and what is acceptable. So I tend to have very vivid dreams, right? And I don't know if I've talked about this on the channel before, but my dreams tend to either be something that is going to happen or just my subconscious and my anxiety tussling in my brain while I'm asleep. So the other night I had a dream, and don't ask me why it was these specific people in the dream, but Chris Brown was in my dream, and it was me and my husband and some girl. Now, I don't know what was going on. I can't remember who the girl was. Actually, I do. The girl in my dream is a former friend of mine who's actually the ex of one of my exes. I don't want to get into it, but it was Chris Brown, me, my husband, and the girl that I'm friends with. And so I went in to give Chris Brown a hug as if he was my friend. I don't know. But I went in to give him a hug, and he wouldn't hug me. And there was like some discourse and conversation between him and the girl that I was friends with. And what I gathered when I woke up, because I journaled about it, was that they were judging me. They couldn't believe that I was here with my husband, that someone had chosen to marry me, that someone loved me so much to be out with me, because how they seen me was a person who wasn't desirable, a person who wasn't deserving and worthy of love, a person who didn't deserve to have anybody accept them, flaws and all. And when I realized that in my waking life, I actually have people like that in my life, I realized that there were some things that I had to let go of, and some things that I had to accept from myself in order to heal those things. Sometimes our subconscious mind and our dreams will tell us the things that we need to work on to heal. And I realized that I need to work on accepting the things that I allowed happen to me in the past. And I have to work on accepting mistakes that I made when I didn't know any better. And I also have to work on reprogramming my subconscious mind so that I know deep down inside that I am worthy and deserving of love, whether that's in my relationship or if it's from my friendships or if it's just for me. I am worthy and deserving of love from myself, period. And so as I have these realizations and these epiphanies and just waking up to myself, and I'm healing all of these different layers of me, it feels radical. It feels like I'm breaking rules, because I'm breaking curses. I'm breaking chains that were put around me in my mind to make me believe that I wasn't worthy, that I wasn't deserving, that I wouldn't get these things, that I won't get to that level that I know that I can get to. And there is such freedom when you allow yourself to believe that you're just enough. You're enough just as you are. Ain't that crazy? Now, if you're one of those people that's watching this video, like, well, what about the parts of me that I do need to change? What about the bad habits that I do have and the mistakes that I did make? What about all of those things? Now, if you're struggling to overcome the shame and the guilt that you may have experienced based off of things you allowed in the past, those are things that you're going to have to work through, and I get it. It's hard to accept the messy parts of ourselves. But the thing about it is, that's exactly what self-acceptance is. It's accepting yourself while you're growing. You don't stop growing. Every day, you should be taking opportunity to get better, even if that's 1% better. Self-acceptance just means that you stop hating yourself along the way. That means that you stop self-deprecating. That means that you stop saying negative things about yourself as you get to the point of healing. I posted a video on here and in my shorts, and I said that you are exactly who you think that you are. And somebody commented and said, oh, well, I'm a POS, thanks. And I'm like, if that's what you believe that you are, then I can't do anything about that. You have to work on your belief about you. I can scream it from the mountaintops and tell you all the things in the world and try to hype you up for you. But if you don't believe it and you don't internalize it, there is nothing that nobody in this world can say to you. Self-acceptance is saying, I can love myself in this moment, even though I'm not perfect. And even as I'm working to become the best version of myself. Imagine the difference between growing out of love versus growing from love. One feels like punishment and the other feels like freedom. Idea of growing out of love can be rooted in fear. That's feeling like you're losing something, that something is abandoning you, whether that's a relationship that you're in, whether that's family, or maybe it's the relationship that you have with yourself. That can make you feel like you're failing or like you're being left behind. That feels like loss, disconnection, and rejection. But if you shift that mindset and look at it as growing from love, then you use that as a source of empowerment to fuel you. Like, even though you're ending a chapter of your life, you still look at it with gratitude. You still look at it from a space of taking the lessons away from it. Instead of becoming bitter, you use those experiences and that life experiences and everything that you went through to make you a better you and to become a better version of yourself. Growing out of love feels like a door closing, but growing from love feels like a door opening. and allowing you to walk through and to gain new experiences. And with that comes feelings of compassion. It comes feelings of grace and love and excitement, as opposed to feeling rejected and heavy. When you truly learn to accept yourself, I feel like everything in your world changes. You stop comparing yourself to everybody else around you, because at that point you realize that you're not in competition with nobody. The only person that you're in competition with is yourself. And even with that idea, I don't like the way that that sounds, because I'm not in competition with myself. I'm just growing into the next version of myself. I'm not competing with the old me. But you stop seeking validation from the people around you, especially people who don't even see your worth in the first place. But even though they don't see your worth, you see your worth and you've claimed it yourself. When you accept yourself, you become kinder to yourself. You start loving on yourself more, because you're not looking at yourself and your body and your life from a place of resentment. You allow yourself to rest when you need it. You don't force yourself to continue to be productive because you feel like you're going to miss out on something, or you feel like you're lacking something. You allow yourself to set boundaries with the people around you, with your job, with yourself, with your kids, with everybody. And you also allow yourself to walk away from things that no longer serve you. And you realize that who you are and your worth isn't tied to what you do. It's just simply who you are. You are worthy and deserving just because. All right, I want y'all to try something with me, okay? I want you to take a deep breath, okay? I want you to close your eyes if you can. And I want you to say these words to yourself. I accept myself. I accept all of me. The good, the bad, and everything in between. I don't have to be perfect to be worthy. I'm enough. Now, how did that make you feel? Did it make you feel uncomfortable? I know that when I started doing affirmations like this, it made me feel uncomfortable, because I had to truly believe it. I had to make it a habit to say those things to myself daily, to allow myself to believe that I was worthy and deserving of all of the things that I truly wanted. Even when I was going for a higher salary and I was like, oh, this is the salary that they are going for, like, on the job description, it said that this role was hiring for the salary range of 138 to 160. And for some reason, I was like, oh, I'll just go for 138, because it was scary to me to believe that I could actually go and apply for a role and make $160,000. Why not me? Why not you? Why can't you get whatever it is that you want in this life? Why can't you allow yourself to believe that you deserve that amount too? Who else in that role other than you? If you know that you're good enough for something, then you're good enough for what is being offered plus more. You are good enough. You are worthy. And because a lot of us may have grown up in like poverty and like scarcity, it's scary to think bigger. It's scary to think like, oh yeah, I can go and I can make 6 figures or more. You know, you try to lowball yourself. Don't lowball yourself. You are worthy and deserving to live a good life, a comfortable life, a happy life. Self-acceptance is not about settling. It's about starting. Starting to see yourself more clearly, starting to see your path more clearly, starting to see your dreams more clearly, and starting to love yourself fully, and starting to live a life that feels true and authentic to you. And the best thing about accepting yourself is that when you do, and you start walking in your own light, and you start really loving on you and really showing up in the world the way that you want to and the way that you are, you start inspiring other people to do the same thing. You then become a light for others around you, to inspire them to live in their own truth and to live authentically as them as well. You begin showing people what can truly happen when you choose love over judgment, compassion over criticism, and authenticity over being perfect, like I'm hopefully doing for you. So today, I want to invite all of you to take that first step towards self-acceptance. I want you to start small, and I want you to start now, because you deserve to live a life where you're not just surviving, but you're thriving. Self-acceptance isn't just an act of love, it's a revolution. In a world that profits off of your insecurities, that constantly tells you that you're not enough, that you constantly have to be raising the bar to do better and be better. Choosing to embrace yourself exactly as you are is the boldest thing that you can do. It's standing up and refusing to believe the lie that you have to be fixed. You don't need to be fixed. You don't need to be changed, and you don't need to make yourself smaller in order to be worthy. Now, you may need to grow in some areas, and that's life, right? But you don't have to become a person that you're not. Be who makes you happy. Accepting yourself is a rebellion against the noise of the world. It's choosing to silence the voices around you that are constantly telling you that you have to be somebody else. And nobody can do this work for you but you. And I hope that after you watch this video, you decide to do the work for you. And if this video inspired you, please be sure to send it to someone else to join the loved ones community. I pray that you love you loved ones, and that you take this year and every year moving forward to continue to pour into you and to love on you, okay? And to love you and to accept yourself, all right? If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please be sure to do so. I love you all so much. And as always, be bold, be joyful, and always be fully loving yourself. And I'll catch you in the next video.